Hello everyone, my name is Northstar. I am the Chief Marketing Technology Officer of Friday Viral. And what this is right now is a DeFi crypto class. And of course, if you don't know, DeFi stands for Decentralized Finance. And that's what we're going to be discussing. So at this very moment in time, this is what I'm presenting. As you can see on the screen, okay, is a web page for FridayViral.com, and it is called the First Class Bonus. So for all of you who participate in this class for the first class, you're going to receive a first class bonus. And as you can see on the screen, as I go through it, you're going to receive $7 Entrepreneur for free. And $7 Entrepreneur is $7, okay? But because you're participating in this class, you're going to receive this as a bonus. The next thing that you're going to receive is Learn How to Get Rich Online, which is a PDF, or ebook, that is 13 questions that answer how to get rich online. And it covers an array of things about doing online business, okay? The next thing is Live from my smartphone. Now, this is music. Now, I know this is kind of odd to offer music in a value stack, but you know, I am an artist, don't actively record and things like that anymore, but this is an album that I'm going to release as an NFT. I actually released this back in 2016. It is a full-length album that I recorded on my smartphone, and it's a story behind it. So download it, listen to it, check it out. All right, and if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. If you have not become a subscriber, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and click the link in the description so that you can get access to this page. And also be sure to bookmark it, because you won't be able to find it unless you have the link, okay? So if you sign up on the email, I will send it to you, and that's practically it. So now we will jump into the information. Now on this bonus page, everything that I'm going to be covering and talking about is going to be about DeFi, decentralized finance, okay? So this is everything that you're gonna need to know, the basics, the foundation about decentralized finance. And we're also going to talk about NFTs as well, at least to have a general knowledge of NFTs and what they are and the uses of them, okay? So, like I said, my name is Northstar. I am the Chief Marketing Technology Officer of Friday Viral. Friday Viral is an internet marketing company focused on e-commerce, digital marketing, and all things internet marketing, okay? So now with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and jump into lessons because we are on limited time, all right? So since this is about decentralized finance, what decentralized finance is, it is non-traditional banking with cryptocurrency. So most people are familiar with cryptocurrency, right? But some people aren't familiar with crypto. Now you may be asking yourself, if you're watching this for the first time, if you're viewing this information for the first time, everything that you're gonna see is gonna walk you through it on an information basis, but I'm going to talk about it and explain it, all right? One of the things that we all need to know is about banking, okay? And what banking is. There are some important things that you really need to know and understand about banking. I'm gonna actually grab this book and read the definition to you about banking. And then after I do that, then I'm going to get into cryptocurrency and how this is all going to work together, okay? So let's talk about what is a bank. Now, most people don't even know this, okay? Most people don't know that a bank is not a building. It's not an institution. It's you. That's what a bank is. And that's defined by law, okay? So by law, it says that a banker is a person who engages in the business of banking. So that would mean you, because you engage in the business of banking. But I'm going to explain even further. Now, banking itself is the business carried on by or with a bank, all right? And a bank is to keep money at, deposit funds in a bank, or to facilitate a transaction. So let's talk about those three definitions right there and why this is important to you, okay? Now, with this whole decentralized finance and it being non-traditional banking, in order for you to get the concept of what it is, you need to understand some basic fundamentals, like what is a bank, who can bank, how can you bank, and what gives you the freedom to bank, all right? Now, by law, and when I say by law, I'm saying I'm in the United States, so if you're viewing this outside of the United States, this actually applies all around the world, the definition that I gave you, as well as what I'm going to explain. Now, the reason why this would apply to you wherever you are in the world is because this is covered by something called Uniform Commercial Code, okay? Now, even though we're dealing with the internet, and a lot of this stuff is like banking is usually offline, and I don't mean like the transactions that you do online, I'm saying, you know, actual banking building, right? When you, as a person who conducts transactions, right, you think that you're a customer to a bank. Technically you are, but you don't realize that when you walk into a bank and you make a deposit or you withdraw, that you're engaging in banking as a banker. Not like the tellers, right, at a bank who, you know, are called bankers, but by law, okay, and I'm talking about United States Code Service, American jurisprudence, and all these things. This right here is what banking really is. It's the people, right? So it's you and someone else doing the business of trading, and I don't mean goods, I'm saying money, right? Because that's what banks do, they trade with money. All right. Also, as a bank, you keep money in your pocket, right? Or on a debit card or whatever. But anytime that you actually have physical money or you control the money in some aspect, that's what makes you a banker. So with this decentralized finance and how this will apply to you is because there is no government oversight or control. It's, you know, the people making all the rules and engaging in it the whole entire time, okay? You are the banker. So what gives you the authority to be a banker and engage in banking is not the fact that a state or a country enacted a law and said that you have the ability to bank. It's a common law practice. This is something that's been around since the beginning of time. It just now has a definition. It just now has some sort of government oversight and things of that nature. But the whole reason why I'm doing this presentation and why I set this whole thing up is because if you are an entrepreneur or a business owner, this definitely applies to you and will help you in a major way. How and why? We all need financing because in order for us to be in business, to engage in business, we need financing. And without financing, our business struggles and then it fails, okay? So those are the two things all business goes through, which is struggle and failure, right? But with our struggle, with our failure, we don't want to close our doors. We don't want to stop our business. We want to elevate our business, grow our business, push our business forward. DeFi will enable you to do that. Now, let's say you're not an entrepreneur. Let's say you're not a business owner. Let's say that you're someone who just wants access to more money. DeFi is a way for you to get more access to money. And how does DeFi work? Okay, so let's go through some of the definitions and things like that. But let me go back to a point that I made earlier about cryptocurrency and how it all works together and applies. In order for you to use this DeFi, you have to have a crypto asset. That means that you have to have like Bitcoin, Ethereum, United States, USD coin, something like that. You'll have to use one of those, or like a DAI coin or something like that. This is the only way that you'll be able to access DeFi and use DeFi. So that means you have to buy a crypto asset. Then you have to also have a crypto wallet, and then you access the DeFi platform and you engage in whatever it is. Now on DeFi, you can be a borrower, you can be a lender, and you can also earn annual percentage yield interest. This means that your interest, you make interest every day, it compounds every day. All right. So this is a beautiful thing. You're not having to do the same thing that you would with a bank with, like getting credit checks or putting up collateral, and then something happens with the loan and then you lose the entire value of that collateral. See, the difference with DeFi, you can use the crypto asset. You get what you need. Then once you do that, if something happens with the loan, like you can't pay it back for some reason, you don't lose the entire value of your asset. You still get to retain value in your asset. Okay, so that's what's one of the beautiful good things about this. So let's direct your attention to the screen and let's go through DeFi and decentralized finance with this non-traditional banking. So I'm just going to read this word for word and walk you through it, okay? So DeFi is peer-to-peer financial services on public blockchains. You can do most things banks support. You can earn interest, borrow, lend, buy insurance, trade derivatives, trade assets, and more. DeFi is global. You don't need any paperwork or third party. It's all synonymous and open to everyone. See, that is one of the greatest parts about this whole entire thing, that you don't have to go through all the traditional things that you normally would with a bank, which is if your credit's terrible, then you can't access a loan. So that means you're going to have to go somewhere to a lender that's going to charge you an astronomical amount on the interest that is tied to that particular loan. All right. Now, the future of finance is now. The concept and use of DeFi is to borrow and lend the crypto asset while making learning and money interest on your crypto asset. You can borrow between 50 to 75% of your crypto, the worth of your crypto asset. Now, here's the thing. Even though that is like the norm, you can borrow up to 90%. Some of those platforms allow you to borrow up to 90%. So it's not just 75%. All right. The rest is up to your imagination, and you'll earn APY on your crypto asset. Now let's get into this. Here's one of the special things about this whole DeFi thing, right? So let's say I take a crypto asset like Ethereum. I borrow against $1,000 worth of Ethereum. Now I get let's go with the 75%, right? Now, if you look right here on the screen and you see where it says power of DeFi, and you see this example where it says borrowing against a crypto asset, and then you have $1,000 times 75% with the APY of 5%, okay? So what this means is you take a crypto asset of $1,000 and you get $750 that you can borrow, right? Now, while your crypto asset is locked in the smart contract, it earns interest. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that the traditional way of banking. When you go borrow from a bank, they don't pay you any interest on your collateral. None. Zero. Okay? So if you lose, they win because they're secure either way, because you're paying the loan back and it's also secured by collateral. So either way, they win. You lose. In this situation, if something happens and you can't pay the money back, you still win, and who you borrowed from still gets the value of their loan back. Okay, so this means that you mess it up, all they do is liquidate up to the amount that you borrowed plus the percentage of that you're supposed to pay back in interest. Okay, but when it comes down to you going the traditional route, you lose altogether. This route, you win because you don't lose the entire value. But let's just say that something like you take your $750, you invest it in the market, you make more money, you pay your loan back. And another thing too, there's no penalty for the time that you pay your loan back. So this means that I could borrow right now and pay it back the next minute. Or I could borrow right now, and if I borrowed it for a month or a year, and then I decide that I want to pay it back in a week, I can do that with no penalty. You know, in a traditional banking way, there are penalties for paying a loan back that early, that fast, okay? So this is why people come up with all these methods when they use credit cards, or if they're doing bank loans and trying to pay it off at a certain time, because, you know, they don't want you to pay your loan back within a year's time. They really want you to stretch it out so they can make money off of the interest, you know? All right, so let's walk down through this power of DeFi. Now, as you see this diagram on the screen, you see where it says 1,000 times 75%, or 750 times 75%. You got 562.50 times 75%. Now, the reason for this, okay, the reason why I laid it out like this, because I want you to imagine that you want to make more money, right? Or let's just say that you want to have enough money where you can make a move of some sort, whether you're trying to buy a house, a car, you want to take a trip, maybe you have some dream of yours that you want to finance or something of that nature, right? So if you're going to do that, this diagram right here, where you see 1,000 times 75 or 750 times 75 and so on and so forth, what this is if you take $1,000, you borrow against $1,000, you get $750. Then you can turn around and take that 750 and borrow against it, get 75%. That's $562.50 that you get, right? And then if you turn around and you take that and do the same thing all the way down until you can't do it anymore, right? It comes out to a value of like somewhere around like 3,000 something plus dollars. So you done took $1,000 and you've turned this into almost $4,000, just by doing this revolving borrow method, right? Now, the reason why I set this as an example, because I want people to realize that it's not just about the amount that you get the first time, it's what you can do, because there's a lot of different ways that you can maneuver to get more money and leverage all of this. And then the great thing is that you can pay it all back instantly, just like that, right? So there is a huge downside to this, okay? And when I say a huge downside, don't panic, because it's not that type of deal. But the huge downside is if the market goes down, like right now, today is December 15th, 2021, and the crypto market isn't performing so well. All the cryptos are down, all the, the popular ones are down. So if you do something like this, it will actually go against your loan. So that means that because you're using a crypto asset, the crypto asset's tied to the market, right? So if it decreases in value, there is a threshold where, let's say, I think some are up to like 96%, some are like 80%, just depends on what you're doing. But once it reaches that threshold, then it'll liquidate the asset and then return whatever's left, if there's anything left, okay, with that. So that's the downside. So you gotta be careful with how you time the market and play the market when it comes to doing these loans, okay? So let's turn your attention to the screen again. And as you can see, this keeps going on as long as you want it to. DeFi unlocks your access to borrowing money whenever you need, without having to go through any traditional banks. It allows you to finance anything that you want at your own pace, and you don't have to worry about how you're going to get the money, right? Because all you need is just to get a crypto asset. That's it. All right. So as I mentioned before, we're going to talk about the DeFi benefits, the use mechanics, and also the downside. So the benefits with DeFi would be you open, you don't need anything. You get access by creating a crypto wallet. It's synonymous. That means you don't have to prove a name, address, or provide a name, address, or personal information or anything like that, right? It's flexible. You can move assets anywhere at any time. No, you don't need anyone's permission to do that, okay? It's fast. The interest rates and the rewards update rapidly, and you can significantly get higher returns than on Wall Street, and it's transparent. Everyone involved can see the full set of transactions, right? By like if you go on Etherscan or something like that, or whatever platform you're using, like Polygon or something, they all have like a public record where you can go on a site and see all the transactions that people are doing. Okay, you just don't know who it is exactly. Now, the use mechanics are lending. You can lend out the crypto, earn interest, rewards every minute, not once per month. You can get loans. That means obtain a loan instantly without paperwork. You can trade peer-to-peer, and that's only with certain crypto assets. And you can buy and sell stocks without needing any brokerage firms. You can do savings. That means you can put crypto in a savings account and earn better interest rates than from a bank. Okay. And then there's derivatives. You can make long or short bets on assets, other crypto, like options or future contracts. Now, I know for you, you're probably thinking like, well, if we're talking about a loan, then why are you talking about derivatives? But see, this is what DeFi is. It includes all of that stuff together, and why this is so powerful, and especially by you being an entrepreneur, business owner, or somebody with a dream, and you want to finance that dream, this is it. Because now you don't have to go try to borrow money from your mom, your dad, your cousin, your uncles, your friends, or do something strange for some change. All you got to do is turn to crypto, use DeFi, and bam, you own just like that, okay? And all you got to do is just learn the basics, and you learn the basics and the fundamentals, then you're good to go, okay? So here are the downsides. You got fluctuating transaction rates. We're talking about gas fees. So if you're already familiar with crypto in some way, then you know that every time you do a transaction, you get charged a transaction fee, which is called a gas fee. Now, if you're not familiar with it, gas fees just simply means a transaction fee. It's just a different term for it. It's because of what it requires to keep the network afloat, all right? Because it's independent. And independent means that there are various people around the world who have networks, what they call nodes, and they maintain those to help the network stay decentralized, okay? All right, now let's talk about the top 25 DeFi platforms, all right? Now, all this is, what I did is I provided you the names of the top 25 DeFi platforms. When you get on these DeFi platforms, most of them are going to be alike in some ways, but they all generally offer something different because they have their own way of delivering the services, okay? And that's what makes them special and unique. So all you have to do is just go straight down through this list and you'll see who it is. And there's a lot more than 25. I just put the top 25 because it was so many, okay? So you can check that out yourself, because you do have access, and all you got to do is just click on that link. So for those of you who are observing this on YouTube or anywhere else across the web, especially on YouTube, click the link in the description. It'll take you to this page. Click the link in the description. It will take you to this page, and everything that you've seen in the beginning of this video is what you will have and what you will receive, and you'll have access to it forever, okay? I'm not taking the page away, all right? So let's talk about the purpose of, go ahead and scroll this up. So let's talk about the purpose for this list. Now, the list, of course, is just to provide you with reference, but they're subject to change. So those top 25, there could be a new top 25 tomorrow, but more than likely it won't be, okay? Because most of these platforms are pretty well established. So here's the steps to DeFi, right? We have one, and this is real easy. All you do is you connect a crypto wallet, okay? And if you don't know what a crypto wallet, don't worry about it. I'm gonna tell you what it is, all right? The second thing is you're gonna purchase or transfer accepted crypto coins via the platform to send your to your crypto wallet. So let me explain this. So when you're using DeFi, you have to have a crypto asset, and it has to be an acceptable crypto asset. And that acceptable crypto asset is basically the coins that particular platform will accept for use on their platform, like Ethereum, USD, DAI, and it's several others. You go from platform to platform, you're going to see that some will have a very short list of coins and some will have a longer list of coins. Okay, it just depends on what network that they're working on. A lot of these are tied to Ethereum's network. Okay, now the third step is you're going to lend or borrow your DeFi you're going to lend or borrow on the DeFi platform. So if you are trying to get money, you're going to lend. If you want to make money, if you're trying to get money, you're going to borrow. If you're trying to make money, you're going to lend. All right. And it has those options. And it's very simple. So when you get on there, because I know you're probably saying, well, why don't you just walk us through it and show us? No. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this information that you have right in front of you, okay, it is a step-by-step, and all you have to do is go to any one of the DeFi platforms, which I provided you a list of 25, the top 25. When you get on there, it is very, very simple. And when I say simple, it's the same as like when you buy a new phone, right? You just click around and you find what you need and you instantly know how to use it. It's that simple. So you don't need a whole lot of like examples, click here, click there, because all you got to do is just click on the section that you want, whatever you're trying to do, and then it'll tell you, oh, all you need to do is connect the crypto wallet. Then when you connect the crypto wallet, put an asset in it. And then when you put the asset in it, boom, you're ready to go. That's simple, okay? So we have lending, we have borrowing, and let's talk about this super thing called a flash loan, okay? Yeah, come here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna feature someone who actually I just met yesterday, but they have actually used this and they can explain a little bit more about it. So let me tell you what a flash loan is in a nutshell. You don't need asset at all to borrow, and what you borrow is unlimited. This means that you can borrow any amount that you want, as long as, whatever amount that is in the liquidity pool. Some have hundreds of millions, some have billions, and some just have millions, right? But whatever that liquidity pool has, you have the full girth of that liquidity pool to borrow from, okay? And all you have to do is you borrow, you set up what's called a protocol stack, and then at the end, you pay it back. And it's considered to be one transaction. So I'm gonna let Theo step in front and explain to you what it's all about.
All right, thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Theodore. I go by Theo. Now, my good friend over here just talked about flash loans over here. Well, there is a lot more that goes into it. We have simplified it a lot for you all to, just get a grasp of what all is going on the blockchains and in the crypto space going on right now. Now, with these flash loans, of course, you have to make a crypto wallet. You usually do it on MetaMask. That's the most used crypto wallet. Yes, there is many things that go on with the MetaMask. It's, Facebook and things with Metaverse and whatnot. But with the flash loan, you do need to have a MetaMask wallet. Now, I know a lot of people are go hunk and ready to hop right into it, but also you need to be educated when you step into the crypto space, because it is like the Wild West out here. The FDIC is not coming to help protect you or things of that nature, so you need to protect yourself. That comes with knowing the crypto space, building a community like we are here right now, possibly Discord, chat, meeting in person, whatever ways we can as a community right here. But yeah, you definitely want to educate yourself, and also, with security, external hardware wallet, things of that nature. But yeah, I'm gonna let him get back in on his flash loan.
Before you go, okay, so tell them your experience with the flash loan.
Oh yeah, well, I can tell y'all, well, in my personal experience with the flash loan, the first experience was quite crazy. And my brother, who is behind the camera, he runs Northside Entertainment and shoots his videos. We stepped into the crypto space, just gung ho like many people, but the first time always isn't the best time, and you learned a lot of things with the flash loan. So yes, you have a protocol like he mentioned earlier. So what you do is there's a mixer, but we can get into that a little bit later. But your flash loan, what you want to do, you get onto your laptop. Now, the thing that's so great about it, anyone can do this because previous times you have to be attached to traditional banking, but now anyone can do that with a stable internet connection. So you get onto your internet browser, your laptop. You can even do it via phone as well, and you tap into your flash loans, and that's pretty much it right there.
Okay, so tell them about the when you went through the process. What did you have to do? Talk about the smart contract.
Okay, all right. So with the smart contract, now you have to be quite tech savvy, because when you make a smart contract, a lot with the crypto space is about ownership. Now, how do you prove ownership? Is through the blockchain. So when you try to get a flash loan, you have to make a smart contract protocol. Now, once you make the smart contract protocol, you have ownership of that protocol. No one can take it from you. You have your save key and everything of that nature. So many of the opportunities in life, such as real estate and whatnot out here, it's already gone. It's already gone. It's going to be hard to get already. But with this decentralized platform, with your flash loans and whatnot, once you make the smart contract protocol, that is your first step to ownership within the crypto space.
Okay, so what is the protocol? Why do you need a protocol? Like, what purpose does it serve?
Oh, well, the protocol is more to tell the computer what actions that you want done. So let's say I know one flash loan that I personally use is Ethereum to BNB. So simplified terms, it is much like arbitrage, where you go to a Nike outlet, but you got the shoes for a lower price at Marshall's. Now, you can get the lower shoe at Marshall's and go sell it at the Nike outlet for a bigger amount. So it's the same concept on the blockchain. So when you make the smart contract protocol, you're giving the computer a parameters set by you, and once it's set, you don't have to remake a new contract. You just have to provide it gas fees, like you mentioned earlier before. So that's a lot of problems that people run into with the smart contract, because you're thinking, oh, I can just keep clicking, and limited list amount of money, but it's not exactly the case, because you do have to have seed money, capital money to invest into the gas fees to reap those types of rewards on the blockchain. So that's a main thing that you want to get. Of course, everyone needs capital to make the initial investment.
Right.
So
okay.
yeah, I'm gonna give it back to you.
Okay, so following up with what he said, so I'm going to define it a little bit more. So when he talked about the protocol, it's a series of actions that you set. Okay, so if you look at the screen where it says the flash loans, here are the steps to a flash loan. Step 1, you borrow the money. Step 2, you buy and sell crypto for a profit. Now that's where the protocol stack comes into play, is because what you're doing is you're going to create a command. Okay, you don't have to get all technical. It's already set up for you, because all you have to do is just click and say what you want. So you're basically going to go, I'm going from this platform to that platform to sell, or maybe you want to buy at a certain time and sell at a certain time. But either way, all you're doing is just giving it a set of commands, and on those set of commands, it takes those actions. So once you borrow the money, it goes through the protocol stack, and at the end of the protocol stack, it pays the money back that you borrowed, right? So basically, you have to settle out at a profit because it's the only way that it's going to work, all right? So that's how that works. And then, it's, of course, on step 3, you pay back the loan. So the steps to a flash loan are simple. 1, borrow the money. You already have to have a protocol stack set up when you borrow the money, because when you do that, you click go, it does what it does, and at the end, as long as it's profitable, you pay the money back, you make money. Now, should you not be profitable, like with whatever series of actions that you're doing, then it will dissolve and the money will revert, the action will reverse and the money will go back to the liquidity pool. So this is how they actually protect the asset and why you don't need an asset to borrow on, okay? So now, as you can see right here on the screen, you see this equation that says LBEXP PBL. So all this means is it's you borrow from the lender, then you exchange, you make a profit, and you pay back the loan. That's pretty much simple, okay? Now, here is the thing about DeFi, all right? The gas fees are really high. All right, and when I say really high, they can be as much as I've heard. They told me $60. But what I've seen, what I've done, is when I was working on my proof of concept, I was going through it to see how it works. When you transfer your money into the crypto wallet, and then you want to go, and I'm talking about the crypto into the crypto wallet when I say money. Then you want to take that crypto asset and transfer it on a DeFi platform. When you do that, I seen that it could be between $260 to $430. So with the proof of concept, what I did is I estimated that you need about $1,400 to get started with DeFi. All right. Now, for some of you, you may figure like, oh my God, that's a lot of money to be trying to start out with. But then some of you, $1,400 is not that much. So for anyone who has trouble processing, having to start with $1,400, okay, if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, you already know that you got to get with the program and get some money, right? Okay, now with that being said, $1,400 is not that big of a deal because all you have to do is if you invest in crypto, you will make money from crypto. And over time, you will accumulate the $1,400 that you need in order to use DeFi. Now, you do not need $1,400 to use DeFi, but in order to make it make sense, let me say this, okay? In order for you to make it make sense, you need $1,400, and the reason being is for this. If a gas fee is between $260 to $430, let's say you have $800, right? Now, if you say, okay, I'm gonna take this 800 and I'm gonna borrow against 400, you're working backwards, right? Because you just paid 400 just to transfer 400. But if you take 1,000 and you need 400 to transfer the 1,000, now you're starting out much further ahead and you have a lot more room to work with monetarily. This is the reason why it requires $1,400 minimum to use DeFi, okay? Now, more than likely, you can find a cheaper route to go and do that. But for the sake of this DeFi class and the proof of concept, I put this together so that way you have an understanding on how and what you need to do in order to make it work for you. All right. So I have the proof of concept right here on the screen. And as you can see, it says $1,400 baseline start entry for DeFi, roadmap to start. With no money, begin with crypto, start with $100 minimum, right? And then you can start with $20. It takes longer, not as effective as with $100, okay? So on the note, I wrote here, this is a repeatable process and currently there's no limit to the use of DeFi. That means how much you can borrow, lend, and all that. It is completely up to your imagination and creative investing efforts. Educate yourself about banking to elevate your knowledge and know how to fully optimize your opportunity making money. Your efforts are your own. And let me repeat this again. Your efforts are your own. So this means you have to use your cognitive ability, be creative so that you can make money, all right? And you're gonna have to exercise a lot of patience, because if you don't, you're gonna be like Crash Dummy and crash into the wall, all right? Now, let's go further. Now, the purpose and impact of starting with $100 minimum. You can start with any dollar amount. Reason recommended to start with 100 minimum is so that you can make a powerful impact, so that you can make profits. Now, what I'm saying about this, okay, I'm talking about if you don't have any money. Of course, in order for you to get crypto, you have to have some money. But when we say you don't have any money, you're working with very little. It could be $20, $50, $10, or in this case, $100. Now, I'm recommending that when you start out, that you start with $100, because I've invested little bits of money and made some money off the little bit of money. I've invested $100 and made a lot of money off of it. And there's a big difference between $100 and $10, or $100 and $50, and $100 and $99, okay? Because for some reason, the $100 seems to it like expands the ability for the money to like grow a lot faster, okay? And this is just in my observation and experience with, using crypto and investing in this, okay? Now, let's see here. We have, to use DeFi, you must use an acceptable crypto asset, which I've already mentioned that before, on the DeFi platform of your choice. Gas fees are high as F, and you know what that means. Therefore, you must dabble around with cryptocurrency, become profitable to make your $1,400 needed to effectively use the DeFi system. All right. Now, I want to impress upon everyone, it doesn't matter if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, or just someone with a dream, okay? The one thing that we all have had a challenge with is financing. Everyone. It doesn't matter whether if you're super rich or you're super poor. Everybody has had a challenge with financing, especially when you are trying to do things bigger than what you've done before, all right? Or if you have something that you're doing and you're trying to grow it at an exponential rate. So the only way for you to do that is that you have to turn to someone or something that will give you the backing that you need. Now, for a lot of people, we all want people to support us, but when someone is not supporting us, what do? Right? You might go get a job, you'll find different ways for you to get your own money, for you to do your own thing. But the problem with that is that you're by yourself, it takes an extremely long time, and you struggle hard along the way. With DeFi, with cryptocurrency, it eliminates all of that stuff, okay? It basically, instead of you taking 10 years to do something, it may take you a year now to do it. Instead of it taking you 10 years, it may take you only 5 or 3 or 2 years, okay? So it shortens the length of time that it would normally have taken you years ago to get to where you want now. So instead of you taking 10 years to get to your destination, it may take you 1 to 3 years to get to your destination, and then you grow faster at an exponential rate, okay? So this is why you should be looking into DeFi, why you should be trying DeFi, you should be exploring it, experimenting with it, so that way you can make the most of it, all right? Now, right here, as you can see, we have where it says crypto wallets, all right, is what we talked about. There are a lot of different crypto wallets. I'm not really sure on the number. I didn't really get into that, but here's a list of them. As Theo mentioned, MetaMask is one of the most popular. You got Coinbase wallet, you got Connect, Ledger, Trust Wallet, Taurus, Token, MEW wallet, and so forth. And the list is right here. So all you have to do is click that link in the description, and when you get there, all the information is right here. Everything that you need to know, all the steps that you need to know. So when you get on a DeFi platform and you're trying to figure it out, instead of doing all the guesswork, I put it right here for you. All right. So basically it's like an instruction booklet. All right. So now, of course, like I said, start with $1,400, must have a crypto wallet to use DeFi. only wallets available, options for the DeFi of choice. And what that means is not all the DeFi platforms connect to all the wallets, right? MetaMask, from what I've seen, observed that it connects to a lot of the platforms, but there are other wallets out there that don't connect to the platforms. They're only exclusive on certain platforms. So that's with that being said right there. All right. You will need multiple options with crypto wallets. So that means don't just rely on MetaMask or Coinbase or whatever. You may need like 3 or 4 crypto wallets in order to do the thing that you need to do in order to get the money that you want to get. All right. Now, for optimization with this DeFi, what you're going to do is you can borrow up from 1 month up to a year, plus get your APY. APY is annual percentage yield, and that means that you earn interest every day instead of, once a year or twice a year. Okay. You can lend. When you lend, you gain APY. And then, of course, you have the flash loan. So we have already explained that already. The optimization strategy, get the most out of your DeFi. It will take ingenuitive thinking, imagination, upfront preparation, and planning for borrowing terms, lending terms, and FL protocol stacks. So I'm going to thoroughly explain this part, all right, about the optimization strategy. So what I'm saying here, and I'm gonna read it again, to get the most out of the DeFi, it will take ingenuitive thinking, imagination, and upfront preparation. So this means before you go and jump into trying to get a DeFi loan, right? Now, if you're lending is cool. You don't need anything for that. All you got to do is just put your money in and just let it do its thing, and that's all, okay? But when you are actually borrowing, you have to have a strategy for this. And when you're using the flash loans, you have to have a strategy for this because, okay, if you go with the flash loan, right? Flash loans is a way for you to make money consistently, right? Because you're borrowing the money, but you're setting a stack of commands so that it would do buy and sells, and then at the end you make a profit, okay? But on the other end, if you're just like borrowing off of DeFi, you have to look at the market. You need to see what the market is doing. If it's way up or if it's way down, or if it's up and it's starting to go down and it's continually crashing, you need to be aware of that. So when you go to borrow, you're borrowing at the right time, and you're not going to allow yourself to lose. This is why you have to have a strategy to this in order to make it make sense for you. All right. Now, here's some things that you need to know. DeFi is easy to use, but complex in strategic execution and requires some depth of knowledge in banking for it to be an effective outlet for making money. So this is why when I started this video in the beginning, I had talked about banking, bankers, and a bank. So let's go over that again. A banker, a person who engages in the business of banking. Banking is the business carried on by or with the bank. And a bank is to keep money at, to deposit funds in a bank, to facilitate a transaction. Now, I want to repeat this again, because this is something that you really, 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 really need to let soak in your mind and absorb this definition. Banker, B-A-N-K-E-R, is a person, that means you, who engages in the business of banking. So that you need to understand that. So if you're a banker and you're banking at a bank, that means you're doing everything, okay? So this is why you should have some depth of knowledge on banking itself. All right, now let's go to the next thing. Gas fees are high. That means they're very expensive, and it's a great idea to only move money around in one transaction for managing gas fees. This is very important because depending on what you have going on and what you're doing, right? You don't want to be making a profit and then transferring that profit into like your wallet and then into somewhere where you can access it to spend it. All right. So what you need to do is you have to basically map out a plan and say, okay, look, I'm going to do this many transactions, and I'm not going to transfer any of the money until I get finished. And then when I get finished, then I'm going to transfer it. But you also need to wait for a certain time of the day, because certain times of the day are more expensive than other parts of the day. And that has to do with trade volume. So this is why gas fees can be very low at one moment and very high at the next, okay? Because it's all based on trade volume. All right, next thing is you must use multiple crypto wallets when using different DeFi exchanges to help better the transaction of the funds and to optimize it. All right, you can and will go broke, and I'm gonna repeat this again, you can and will go broke if you haven't properly prepared a well-planned and be well-planned when using DeFi, because the gas fees are so high. That is what will break you. All right, and again, click the link in the description. Click the link in the description so you can have access to this page with all the information. This is basically an instruction booklet, okay? The next thing is cryptocurrency is the future, and the future is now. So to fully optimize DeFi, you must fully optimize cryptocurrency by mastering trading in the market. The more money that you make, the more you can do with DeFi. So the more money you make, the more you can do with DeFi. All right. So as far as that goes, decentralized finance, that ends that part of this video. But let's talk about NFTs, okay, and get into the simple explanation of what NFTs are. And I'm also going to tie this in with the whole DeFi thing, okay? So NFTs stands for non-fungible tokens. You've probably been hearing a lot about it. Everybody's talking about it, especially with this new thing with the metaverse going on. NFTs is a thing, and it's here to stay. And it's basically, you need to get used to what they are and the utilities of them, okay? So what NFT is, it's a unique and non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a digital ledger, which means the blockchain, and used to represent easily reproducible items. Use blockchain technology to establish a verified and public proof of ownership. That's the whole purpose of what an NFT is, okay? So basically all it is just a proof of ownership, and then it also is a proof of the transfer of ownership. That's the other thing about the NFT. So because it's a blockchain technology, it keeps a digital public record of those transactions, okay? And here's another big plus about NFTs. So let's just say I put out an NFT, right? Something that I sell, put a value on it, right? Let's call it $10. I'm just saying, okay? Because I'm gonna keep it small. We go with big numbers. But let's call it $10, or you can call it 10,000, or you can call it $1 million. It's your number, your choice, whatever you want to do with it. But whatever that number is, okay, you can set a percentage. So this means once I sell it, you own it, and once you sell it, I make a percentage off of it, and you can make a percentage off of it, right? And this is forever. So if it gets sold 1,000 times, you get paid 1,001 times, because you got paid the first time from the first person, and then it sells 1,000 times after that, you got paid 1,001 times off of the same thing. Now see, in yesteryears, you can sell something one time and that was it, and you would never ever get a residual off of that. NFTs gives you the residual on that, okay? So let's see here. Now here's some innovative uses for NFTs. You may or may not have heard about Tory Lanez. If you don't know who Tory Lanez is, he is an R&B artist, but he's also a rapper. He's what you would consider a major artist in the music industry, right? Tory Lanez, his last album to date is what I'm talking about, because this is December 15th, 2021. So to date, he sold 1 million copies of his album in under a minute, in 1 minute, okay? And he sold all of them for $1. So he sold 1 million copies, made $1 million in 1 minute. releasing them as an NFT. And he did, that was completely independent, so it went all in his pocket. Now, people resold the album, and every time they do that, he still makes money off of it. So even though he made $1 million in a minute, if people just keep reselling it, he just keeps making money over and over and over again. And he minted 1 million copies, and that's it. And that's the other unique thing about NFTs, is that you have to do something called minting. So think of minting like printing money, right? So you issue a particular number for that NFT. So it could be 1 or it could be 1 trillion. Whatever that number is, that's how many exist for that particular NFT. And that is one of the unique things about an NFT, what helps create its value in that. But it's also about the utility of the NFT as well, what gives it the value, okay? So here's another thing that happened with the NFT. Now, you may or may not know about Lil Pump. He's another well-known artist, a rap artist. But everybody's heard about Soulja Boy, okay? Soulja Boy has been around for a very long time. He's still doing his thing right now today, okay? What they did is they went on a investment platform called Republic, and they launched an investment opportunity for an NFT with a single, one song that they're releasing. They set a investment threshold of $500,000. I don't know how long it took them to get the 500,000, but by the time I got the email, looked at the email, I got on there and checked it out. It was at 360,000. I text 6 people, and in less than 20 minutes from the time that I text those 6 people about this investment opportunity, they had already reached their goal of 500,000. Now, this is what makes this so unique, because you're going to start to see a whole lot of major artists doing this same exact thing, because this was very successful for them. So I'm explaining why this means something to us as people who are interested in NFTs and want to get involved in that space, okay? So get this. They said, all right, we're going to release this single. We're going to go to this investment platform. We're going to give people an opportunity to invest in the single. But in return for their investment, we're going to allow them to share in the royalties. This is unheard of. We talk about the general public can share in the royalties of 2 major artists, right? Doing a song together, a collaboration. So just imagine if Beyonce or Jay-Z or Akon or Celine Dion or I don't know, I'm just naming some of the like big super big artists, you know, like every time they drop something they automatically go platinum like that, right? But just imagine if your favorite artist, who is, you know, like a superstar, and they give you the opportunity to be a part of their project by being an investor, and they allow you to share in the royalties of that. That is major. That's unheard of. And that's what they did right here on this platform, okay? And they released it, they're releasing it as an NFT. So that's a great factor on that one right there. So then you have NFT bonds, right? So the use and utility is like, you know, private banking. It's a private banking value asset, an investment vehicle. It can be attached to leveraged debt instruments, a trust, and collateralized goods, okay? So this is some of the uses and utilities of it. And also too, if you haven't heard, NFTs have been being used in real estate as well. So NFTs are gonna be used for almost everything out here that has to do with proof of transactions, proof of ownership, proof of transfer, and these things like that. And also as investments as well. Okay, now as a note, it can't be created by anyone with a real asset or digital asset. Doesn't really matter. The bond definition, just for you all to know, because we talked about NFT bonds, it's a fixed income instrument that represents a loan made by an investor or borrower, typically corporations or governments. A bond could be thought of as an IU between the lender and the borrower. That includes the details of the loan and its payments. That means, when they're supposed to be paid and how long it's supposed to last. Bonds are used by companies, municipalities, states, and sovereign governments to finance projects and operations. Owners of bonds are considered debt holders or creditors of the issued bond. Bonds details include end dates and the principal of the loan and when it's due, and to be paid to the owner usually includes the term of a viable fixed interest payment made by the borrower. All right, so that just gives you some insight on what a bond is if you don't know what a bond is. Now, the reason why, because this is all about investments, right? This whole thing is about DeFi, decentralized finance. And I'm added the NFTs because you can also use this in financing as well, okay? You just have to, like I said, you have to be ingenuitive in the way that you go about doing this whole thing, all right? Now, the benefits of NFTs, the use and functions, used to make one-of-a-kind digital art items and unique and exclusive properties, ensures proof of ownership. NFTs are independent tokens that are certificates of authenticity, unique, and are not interchangeable. This means that they cannot be duplicated. They're versatile utility and can be used to represent other forms of work or uses. Issued in fixed limited quantities, that's what I was talking about, the minting, for growth and value of the represented item, whether it's art, utility, and other intellectual properties or business transactions. NFTs can be resold to new owners and enables previous owners to receive a percentage of the sale every time an NFT is sold, and this is forever. That's what I explained a few moments ago about the beauty of an NFT and how you can basically make money off of them forever. Okay, they can be passed on to family or beneficiaries and of the NFT asset, can be used to authenticate online and offline transactions. All right, and since we're talking about finance, this applies, right? NFTs are permission based, includes clauses for purposes and use of that NFT, who has permission to use it, and the use for it. So, for example, you may have been hearing talk online about certain NFTs that have been issued and like the use of them across like social media or in people's videos and things like that. And we're talking about music, we're talking about art and whatever else, right? So NFT, you can set the permission to say, okay, well, can't be used in this way. Meaning like, I'm not gonna allow it to be used on social media in a certain way. Or people who content creators may want to use it, but I'm not gonna allow them to do it if they're trying to do, certain types of content or whatever. So basically, it's in a nutshell, you set the permissions for the use of that NFT and how it's to be used, okay? And let's see, the last thing is they're used in the metaverse, okay? Because that's what this is all about. Now, even though we're in what's called the Web 2.0, Web 2.0 is, the internet that we're experiencing right now. The metaverse is where you start putting on VR goggles and now you're in another world and you're seeing all this 3D or 4D space and all that. So these are going to be big in the metaverse and it's already taken off and all that. So that concludes everything that I had to present. So for those of you who are watching right now, if you have not yet clicked the link in the description, please click that link in the description so that you can get this right here. All right. You're going to be presented with this page, Friday Viral Crypto. It says first class bonus. Now, what I would like for you to do is where you see the name, the email, and the phone number is optional, but the name and the email is required. Please sign up on the email list so that you can get further information, because I'm going to be doing more classes. I'm going to be putting out more content in relation to DeFi, okay? And as I said, you get $7 Entrepreneur for free just because you participated in this, all right? So this is a forever access. It's not a one-time thing, all right? It's forever access, all right? $7 Entrepreneur, by the way, is sold for $7. And I got a donate button down here so you can donate $7 even though you're getting it free. I'm asking for a donation if you feel like donating, okay? Now, you're also gonna learn how to get rich online. It's an ebook that I wrote. It's a 35-page ebook. It answers the top 13 questions on Google in relation to how to get rich, okay? So this means that it's about social media management, cryptocurrency, online business, if you are, doing web development, app development, whatever it is that has to do with online and making money online, this right here addresses all of that, okay? And again, like I told you, Friday Viral is an internet marketing company, so this is the reason why I'm offering this as a part of what you're receiving. Now, we have Live From My Smartphone. Live From My Smartphone is an album that I wrote in 2016. And even though 2016 was 5 years ago, let's be clear. You got to listen to it. So before you start judging, listen to it so that way you'll see what this is all about, because this tells a story. And I'm going to fill you all in on something, okay? I did 13 years in federal prison on drug charges for cocaine, all right? I'm not ashamed to talk about it because it is a part of my past. It's something that happened. I lived and I learned. Now, I've changed from that, and as you can see, I'm on video talking about DeFi, cryptocurrency, and things like that. This Live From My Smartphone is a very, very instrumental thing, because this project was actually something that I put together to prove a point to my oldest daughter, because when I had got out of prison, we were talking one time on the phone, and she's a singer, by the way, a really good singer. So she was complaining about being able to get her content out online and not being able to, record the music and then being able to publish it. So I said, hey, why don't you just use the power in your hands? And she was like, well, what are you talking about? I said, your smartphone. Use a smartphone, you can do everything on your smartphone. So just record it on your smartphone and then you can publish it that way. Well, she didn't like that. She was like, no, I'm not gonna do that because of the quality, this, that, and the third. And I said, well, look, I'll prove it to you. I'll show you that you can do it, and not only do it, but I'm gonna show you that you can actually make money from it and make a lot of money from it. And I did that with Live From My Smartphone, okay? And I did it as a point, but then as I went along with this project, it actually turned into something way bigger than I thought, even though that I did it as a point. This tells my story, but it's motivational. See, that's the thing. This is very motivational because this is about transition. This is about starting from the bottom. Now we're here. You feel what I'm saying? So you start from the bottom, you start with nothing, and then you put a plan together, you follow that plan, you stick to the plan. And as long as you stick to the plan, then you're gonna reach your goal. You see what I mean? So that's what Live From My Smartphone is. It's a real dope album, and I'm not just saying it because I'm the one who made it. I mean, it's because I'm really that good. So check it out, listen to it. Now, the next thing that you get is all the information that I just talked about in this video. Decentralized finance, talking about DeFi. And then, of course, you have the proof of concept and then NFTs, okay? So I appreciate you watching this video from the beginning to the end. However long it took you to get through this material, I really appreciate you sticking with me. I appreciate you checking this out. Before you go, if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. If you have not become a subscriber, subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up and click the link in the description so that you can get access to this page. And also be sure to bookmark it because you won't be able to find it unless you have the link, okay? So if you sign up on the email, I will send it to you. And that's practically it. So thank you for being here. I am Northstar. I am the CMTO, Chief Marketing Technology Officer of Friday Borrow. Friday Borrow is an internet marketing company. All right. And that's that. This is Friday Borrow Crypto, and I thank you for joining us all the way to the end.